Hello everyone, this is Marco and welcome back to my channel. As you might know, I've been ill a little bit, so I'm probably not going to do all this voiceover. I'm going to have a special guest today who's going to introduce to you this amazing project that we've been working on together. His name is Nate48 and he's helped me make some rubber saws in the past. He's also known as Jurassic Creations on YouTube, so you could go follow him if you like. So there you go, Nate, take it away.
Hello everyone, this is Marco and welcome back to my channel.
Wait a minute, you don't have a British accent, and you're certainly not called Marco, you're called Nate. Anyway, carry on, Nate.
Today I'm going to show you how Nate and I replaced the head on the Hammond collection Allosaurus with a new head sculpt resembling Big Al from Walking with Dinosaurs.
Stop it!
We first made the sculpt using a mixture of Nomad sculpts in Blender, and after some test prints and fittings it was ready to go.
Oh, alright, I see how it is, I give up.
Now before we get started, let's look at the materials I'll be using. In this video I'll be using the following products. Links are in the description.
Oh, that's very funny, Nate. Well, that being said though, your fake British accent isn't too bad.
Of course, I'll be using the replacement head sculpted by Nate and myself, which will release right after this video premieres. A utility tool will also come in handy, as well as some super glue, acrylic paint, my trusty airbrush, tons of time, and of course, a glass of water. Now we're all set, we can start this. What the hell? What is that sound? Alright, enough of this British accent thing. Time to speak normal. American, baby, yeah! Hello everybody, it's Nate here, and I'm going to be taking the reins from Marco today since he is feeling a little under the weather. As you notice, his voice is a little shrill.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
But I'm sure I could do at least a somewhat okay British impersonation, so let's get right into the video, shall we? As you can see, I've already replaced the head on the Allosaurus. Really easy, all you have to do is either take a glass of warm water and stick the Allosaurus' head inside of it for the plastic to get hot and so you can peel it off, or you could just use a hairdryer. That's what I did, I used a hairdryer because water gets a little messy. So, the other thing that I've done is I've used a Dremel to shave down all the joints, because as you repaint these Hammond collection figures, I've noticed the paint chips off a lot in those joint segment areas. So I usually shave down the joints with either my Dremel or I'll use my utility tool, quote unquote. After we base coated the figure in a nice sand beige color, we can go in and start doing that blue that you see on Al's design. To get this mixture, I used mostly dark blue and mixed a little bit of black and white in there just to tone it down, because we don't want a vibrant blue. We kind of want a nice dark navy-ish blue for the majority of the patterning on the body. As you can see, I'm just trying to loosely follow the reference material I have. Fortunately, there's not a lot of good reference material for Al, so I kind of had to pick and choose wisely in terms of reference material. So I just kind of blended all the reference material I had together, and this is what I'm going with. Now, of course, I'm using an airbrush to get the blue patterning. You don't necessarily have to. If you don't have an airbrush, that's totally fine. Also, another tip with these Hammond collection figures, make sure you are bending joints when you are painting, so that way you are not missing large areas that are usually covered up by the rest of the body. These things happen. It's all part of the process. After we're done with the blue patterning, let's move on to some red so we can do the crest and that little spot behind the eye. Get the red color that I wanted. I took a little bit of red and I mixed it with a little bit of white and gray just to tone everything down a little bit, as I did on the blue and of course the sand beige on the body. Trying very careful here not to overspray the red, so that way I have less cleanup to do later on. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna explode if I overspray the figure, right? Anyways, after I'm happy with the blue and the red that I have put on Big Al, I'm going to seal up the paint to kind of save my progress a little bit, just so when I go and do all the finer detail, I'm not scraping a lot of the paint off. So now that Al is sealed up, we're going to be moving on to the finer details and cleaning up a bit of that overspray on the face. So the first thing we're going to do is a nice, lovely dry brushing montage. Marco, cue the music. So obviously here I'm just going to go over the figure with a nice dark blue and really kind of make those scales pop, because that's what dry brushing does. It makes things pop. That's why dry brushing is awesome. You should always do it. If you don't do it, then he's going to find you. You don't want to know what happens when he finds you. Anyway, after we do this lovely bit of dry brushing, I hope you enjoyed that nice montage of dry brushing. If you didn't, leave. But if you didn't leave, we have to clean the brush. It's very important to keep the brushes nice and clean so we can keep doing dry brushing. Because if you don't have good paintbrushes, then your dry brushing is going to look bad. And you don't want to know what happens when you do bad dry brushing. And now for the very next step, which is very, very important. More dry brushing! But this time with a lighter blue to make the details pop even more. Hit the music! Marco, that's your cue to hit the... After those two lovely dry brushing montages, it is time to do the stripes. Now, Al has stripes going from his eye down to his body, and then he has these kind of vertical stripes going down. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but if we throw up a lovely picture of Al on the screen, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, these are black stripes with a white outline. So, to make this easier for myself, I paint the white first, and then I go in with the black. It saves you a lot of time, because trying to paint the black and then painting the white around it, it's just a mess. You don't want to do that. Don't do that. Here's another tip for painting stripes. When you have your paint mixture for whatever you're painting stripes, whether it's white stripes, black stripes, turquoise stripes, pink stripes, other color stripes and stuff, it's helpful to always thin the paint just a tad, not like a huge amount. It does make it flow a little bit better. You can get some really nice crispy stripes. I don't know why they're crispy, I just felt like saying it, so deal with it. Alright, moving on. Of course, I've had to replicate all the work I've done on the other side of the dinosaur, because as Bradley has so eloquently said it, we do not want a lopsided dinosaur.
So that we don't have a lopsided dinosaur.
So after we've put down our little white stripes, we can come in with our black, but not too dark of a black. I tend not to use flat black. I use what they call German gray. It's from Vallejo. It's a very nice paint, and it's this kind of like off black, like a very dark gray, and I like it because it's a more muted black in a way. It makes it look a little more realistic, because nothing is like pure black when you're painting black on a dinosaur. It's not like purely black. It's always like it's more of like a dark gray. So if you don't have German gray in Vallejo, sucks to suck. No, I'm kidding. Just take black, add some white. You'll make it. You'll be fine. Absolutely fine. You'll also notice after I've painted all these stripes, the eye I've left white. You're probably wondering to yourself, Nate, why'd you do that? Al has yellow eyes. Well, boy, do I have news for you. I kept those eye sockets white because painting yellow, if you've ever painted yellow before, you'll know it takes about 30 to 20,000 coats to get it to look somewhat okay. So, to negate that, if you go in and you're going to paint the eyes yellow, paint it white first, and then paint the yellow over it. It looks so much better. You only have to do it 2 coats. And I know painting eyes can be frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But it'll be worth it. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. I promise. Would I ever lie to you? So now we're going to be moving on to painting the jaw. And for the kind of fleshy bits in the mouth, I don't know how to even put this. tongue and the gums and the jowls, all that fun stuff, I used what they call tanned flesh. Now, this is my go-to paint for painting the interiors of mouth. I just think it looks nice, honestly. I have no reason for it. I picked it up at the shop one day and I'm like, that looks like a good gum color. I don't know. But, you know, nothing new here. Just painting the mouth and all that fun stuff. So after painting the gums in the mouth, now we're going to paint the teeth. Right? No, we're going to paint the claws? We're going to paint the... Okay, we're going to paint the claws. Because we have the black. I mean, yeah, totally, man. Paint the claws because, you know, we have the black. We might as well. You know, who needs, you know, teeth could be tan. That's fine. That's okay. That's fine. Hey, wait a minute. He didn't paint the dew claw. Oh, why is he cleaning the brush? He didn't paint that dew. Oh, there he goes. Never mind. It's all good. All good. So now, okay, now we're painting the teeth. And this color I'm using is Ivory, also from Vallejo. That tan flesh color earlier, I forgot to mention, was from Army Painters. I use a lot of both Vallejo and Army Painters and combine them. So, yeah, I'm not really loyal to one paint brand.
Traitor!
I just kind of have what's available, and that's really it. I recommend you use a nice fine tip paintbrush because painting teeth can be a pain, and if not done right, it can look a little sloppy and could ruin the whole face of the figure. Now that the mouth is painted after what seems like forever, we can get into doing a nice flesh wash. This is also another Army Painter wash, and I use it for the insides of the mouth. It is really good in my opinion for that. Or this wash is pretty much my go-to for any kind of like fleshy bits, like a part of a dino damaged piece or something like that. This is my go-to technique. And of course the mouth is always wet, so that gets a gloss varnish applied to it too, and so do the claws because I don't know, it just kind of looks cool. And after all the varnish is applied to the mouth and the eyes and the claws, I'm gonna hit it with a hairdryer just to make sure everything dries up, and then I'm gonna plug the tail back in, make sure there's no areas that I miss in painting, and I think we're ready to call this project complete. And now we'll have a nice little photo shoot to kind of show off how the repaint looks with some other figures. And I think that's gonna wrap up my portion of the video. If Marco has any remarks, he'll probably put it in like right now. That's your cue, Marco. So anyways, those Allosaurus heads should be dropping right about now on Etsy, on my Etsy page. Ooh, fancy, I know. Run over to Etsy, grab yourself one of these heads. I'll have it shipped out to you within a couple of days, and you can have a nice Allosaurus head to paint yourselves. And I'd love to see what you guys make. Make sure if you do make something with them, tag me. I want to see it because, you know, I like seeing people paint stuff. So tag me on Instagram. Don't be shy. I'm not mean. I'm a nice person. I swear. Right, Marco? Right. God, that bit was so stupid. Anyways, that's going to be it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video on my channel, or maybe something with Marco. See ya!
Thank you so much, Nate, for being here, and thank you guys very much for watching. Bye!